I'm all alive. If the point got to my head, say make I deny you, I go tell them say lie. Don't be like yeah. I fit spend all of my money on you, spend a couple million on you. Give you love until you say don't do, yeah. Special type of feeling that I feel when I'm with you. Oh, the mommy, anytime where I deal with you. I want your heart and soul.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to join my other subscribers and you get to watch wonderful videos that I'm going to be making. And don't forget to actually comment on the comment section so that I get to interact with you guys and get to know what more content you want me to bring and how I'm doing so far. I would also like to apologize, guys. I am not very consistent in terms of uploading my videos. Work is becoming a bit hectic, but I really want to keep this YouTube channel going so that I get to share my ideas, my opinions, and anything else that I really want to share with you guys. And also you guys can also share stuff with me, because you know this whole life thing is about growing and learning from each other. So first point is savings, guys, right? A couple of times you get to hear people tell you that savings can't get you anywhere. That is not completely true. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna save, you're not gonna get rich by just saving. You need to diversify and make sure that your money works for you and not the other way around. So with savings, I started saving when I was very young. So actually my mom had opened a savings account for me at First National Bank. It's very easy, it's very convenient, and you have a card where you can actually have access to the funds in terms of emergencies. So at the time when my mom actually opened the account for me, it was for savings purposes, right? And emergencies. So whenever she lived far and I had to use the card to actually cash out cash in order to buy my toiletries or whatever it is that I needed at the time. So savings really help in terms of those kind of emergencies, because you do not want to find yourself in a big mess and you need cash, and that is where now you start to get in debt. And you get loans from people which are going to charge at interest, which basically they're going to just ruin the flow of money for you that month or in consecutive months to come. So you need to just open a savings account in any other bank that you choose. My mom preferred First National Bank. I still prefer it. I still own the account now. So I just put in money in there for emergencies. Everybody needs to have emergencies. That is the only way you're going to be able to actually tackle these unexpected events that happen, right? So we're done with savings. You need to have a savings account and save money in there. It could be Orange Money. It has a card, and you know the charge is like six pula when you withdraw. So it's really a very easy, great way to actually just put money aside for those emergencies. Second point, how I manage my finances. So when I was starting out, that was when I was at the University of Botswana, I managed to go onto Google. At the time I needed to learn how to use money and save. So I stumbled upon the 50-30-20 rule. So that rule just basically says whatever income you generate, whatever income you have, you should be able to split it into 50%, 30%, and 20%. So let's say, for example, you're having 1,000 pula. So you're supposed to have 50% of that 1,000 pula, which is 500 pula, going for your needs. 30% of that money, which is 300 pula, 30% of the 1,000, which is 300 pula, going for your wants. And then you have 20% of that money, which is 20% of 1,000, which is 200, going for your wants. No, savings. What am I saying? Wow. Come on, girl. So 50% to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% for savings. So which means if you're a person who regularly has an income of 1,000 pula, which is very unfair, but that's not the issue now. So if you have 1,000 pula coming in, you need to be able to know that 500 goes to your needs, 300 goes to your wants, and 200 pula has to go for your savings, right? And you save that every month. Basic rule that I had to learn about savings, guys, is that it's not about how much you save, but it's about the consistency of you making sure that every month you save. So the 50-30-20 rule worked really well for me when I was now, adapting to tertiary life, moving from home to gaps. So I had to consistently do that. And at that time, I decided to open a flexi fixed account at First National Bank, and it was running for 6 months. So whenever my allowance would come in, I made it a point that I would put in 200 pula every month end. If you don't have financial discipline, you could just schedule so that whenever there's money that comes into your account, it takes that money, because you're not going to be able to actually actively transfer that money to that account. So those are the things that actually worked for me, and they managed to help me make a lot of money. There's a savings account that I opened, the Flexi Fixed account that I opened at First National Bank. It doesn't have a card because it encourages savings. So once you have a card, you're gonna swipe your way through them all. So it's a very good account also, and I still have that account, and I just put in money in there for rainy days, guys. Rainy days. It is so heartbreaking to be in the middle of the month and your gas just goes, or just your car breaks down. Like, you need to always have money aside for those rainy days to avoid getting in debt, guys. Debt is not so good. Alright, then another way to manage your finances, guys, is to actually read books. There are tons of books out there that are filled with a lot of information on how you can actually navigate through this whole managing of your finances. And one of the books that I've been reading is a book recommended by a colleague. It's a Smart Money Woman. And then the second book is Smart Money Tribe. So it's just basically teaching you about how to manage your money, how people out there have been using their money, and what are people's views and all that. After every chapter, there is like some content from the author talking about how to do your investment, what you could look at to diversify your money. Like I said, you do not want to be working for money. You actually want the opposite, money to be working for you. So those books are really good, because now I have gotten to adopt another rule. Since I feel like I've graduated from the 50-30-20 rule, I'm now using another rule from the book. So it's like 60% of your income actually goes for your living expenses. That includes your rent, it includes the petrol, fuel, it includes buying your groceries, your toiletries, right? Those are your basic needs, things that you can't do without. And then 20% of my income goes to my wants. It was initially 30%, and then then you'd have 10% going for your savings. But with me, I said 20% will go for my short financial goals, right? My short-term financial goals, which would be, I want to buy a microwave at the end of the month, or in the end of 3 months I want to be able to buy a fridge, a bigger fridge, or I want to be able to buy my tires, right? I'm not quite sure if in your world tires would be needs, but I would put them under my short-term financial goals. And then the other 20% is savings, but in the book they mentioned that it's called your long-term financial goals, your LFGs. So I would put that money aside in terms of an opportunity that might come by, buying land, investing in some stock shares, or just anything that I want to do in the long term. So I put that money aside and wait for opportunities to come, because opportunities only come once, and when they come, I want to be ready for them. So that's that, guys. I really want to also learn about investing, because I'm still trying to just learn about it before I can actually dive into it. So I think it's very important for you to learn about certain things before you can actually make final decisions and actually consult the right and relevant people in that field, they would know much better, or other people who are actually in investments, so that you can make also the right choice. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I think we've come to the end of this video. But what I would like to say is you always have to start small. One thing that I want you guys to take home is there is no amount of money that you need to start implementing these tips that I gave you on. I started at a very young age. Like, if you're given 10 ula, you need to learn to say, what are my needs? What comes first? What are my wants? And I need to save. We find ourselves troubled by the word YOLO, you only live once. But like, yes, you only live once, but that does not mean that you need to be splurging all the time, spending money on things that you really don't need. Sometimes you need to actually sit down and say, you need to plan for your future. You can't be living like you're gonna die tomorrow in terms of your finances, but in terms of happiness, yes, you can. But let us be able to be mindful of how we use our money in order to reach our goals. The most important thing is to make sure that money works for you and you don't work for money. Always find ways to be creative and make money. We have so many talents, broad talents that we could be using to generate money. You know how to plait, you know how to do nails, you know how to do makeup. Practice. And I want to urge, especially with the problems that I've been seeing arising with people that are around me, is that they lack that passion, they lack that drive. But you need to know that you're doing this thing for yourself. And if you need a helping hand, always shout out. There's always somebody who's looking to help you. I've been one person to try and help people. You need money to start up a business, something that I see that you're committed to, and you draw up a business plan. I'll be willing to help you out, as long as we have a firm agreement and a contract is signed, because sometimes you're just out there trying to help people and they don't want to help themselves. So thank you so much, guys, for taking your time to watch this video. I really hope that you get to learn a lot from what I just talked of as far as the tips go. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down in the comment section. I love you and see you in the next video. Bye.
I'm all alive. If the point got to my